You're this perp back with another video, and I just got done watching this brand new limited series on Netflix called Keep Breathing. This is starring Melissa Barrera. You might recognize her from Scream 5. She was the lead. Now, just based on her performance in Scream 5, I wasn't too blown away. She wasn't my favorite part, but I do, or I should say, I am looking forward to what they're going to do with her character. So, that aside, I figured, let me give this series a try. It's only 6 episodes. They're like about 30 to 40 minutes a piece. You know what I'm saying? It's a very easy binge. Not too much going on for it. It definitely has its issues. There are things that I like about this. There are things that I'm like, okay, I just feel like this is dragging at points. So, Melissa is playing a character named Liv, and she plays this character. She's very headstrong. She's very stubborn. She needs, she's always very urgent, if that's a good way to describe it. So she needs to get on this flight for a business trip or something like that so she can get to this country. I'm drawing a blank on what the country's name is, but she ends up kind of just conveniently running into some people that were already about to, take a plane somewhere else. They took like a private plane, one of those like little planes, and was just pleading with them like, yo, please, please just take me. Instead of just waiting, for the next flight, she's just really impatient. That's one thing about her character that gets explained throughout the series. So she's on the plane with this guy named Sam, and I'm forgetting what the other dude's name was. He didn't really talk much. And, it seems like, and when she's in the air, bro, I'm the type of person, I don't like heights. So just her just being in the air and knowing that at any minute that you can crash, that stuff is like terrifying. Terrifying. And all of a sudden, which I wish they would have kind of explained why the plane crashed. It just kind of crashed. It didn't crash land into any, like, on any land. It crash landed into the water. And what ends up happening is it's just kind of her and Sam at this time just alive. Because they were chopping it up at the plane, getting to know one another. Him pretty much telling her, like, yeah, I work for National Geographic, which comes to find out is a lie. And it's kind of, that's one disappointing thing about this series, that, it never tries to surprise you. Don't go into this expecting a shit ton of action. There are some suspense, but it's little and far in between, for me. So what ends up happening is the plane crashes, and it's just Sam and Liv. The other guy, he wasn't able to make it out. The guy that was also piloting the plane, he wasn't able to make it because he had like some metal bar stuck like into his in his leg, and it was stuck with the ship. So he pretty much he drowned. He you know what I'm saying? You had to kind of leave him behind. Of course, Sam can't swim. So what ends up happening is Liv has to bring him back to shore. You know what I'm saying? He can't really do much. But what you come to find out, that Sam has an injury where he's starting to bleed out as well now. And at any moment he could die, and Liv is all by herself. But that's what ends up happening. She tries to do her best to like stop the bleeding, but it's too much. It's too late. Sam dies, and now she's all alone in the woods. Or I should say the wilderness. She has only 2 cell phones, and the last words that Sam had to say is like, "Did you get the bags? You gotta something about the bags," which makes me think like, oh, these dudes were probably just moving drugs. It's very kind of telegraphed and kind of predictable. You know what I'm saying? So throughout the episodes, you see her just trying to survive through the wilderness and try to just keep pushing forward. But also throughout this series, you get a flashback of her life, like as she was as a little kid, how close she was with her mom. And that's a big thing too, is her parents. You know what I'm saying? The big theme of this is just, everybody has to deal with losing their parents in their life, and just, how that takes effect on you as a kid. And you see the effects her mom had on her as a kid, and how that's starting to kind of, what should I call it? It's starting to repeat itself with her. And ever since her mom passed, her and her father haven't always been seeing eye to eye. And when her father ends up passing, it's just like, she completely like kind of shuts down. And this is why she's the way she is at work. And you also kind of see what her love life was like, and just everybody that that has passed away ends up kind of talking to her as she's like traversing through the wilderness, which is pretty interesting. But that's where things kind of drag, is I feel like they spent way too much time with the backstories and not giving us enough of her just going through the wilderness. And let me talk about just the wilderness scenes, because a lot of things were just convenient and just felt like, damn, there's really no stakes until like episode 6, because episode 5 was some real bullshit. So she ends up falling through like this big ass hole, and then like this big ass rock falls on her legs. At that point, you should have definitely not walked out of that unscathed. It was really weird. But then like she's on the edge of this cliff, and then all of a sudden she falls, and then she can kind of like, instead of just breaking her whole leg completely, like I guess she breaks her ankle, but she's still able to move. It's a lot of bullshit. It kind of kills the suspense a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Not saying I wanted her to get like brutally injured or anything like that, but it's just like, you're surviving through the wilderness. It would help to make this more realistic. And there's a little detail that Sam mentioned, that like, you don't know whose money that is that you're burning, because she finds the bags and it has money and all this stuff, and Percocets and drugs and stuff like that, and she uses the money to kind of use that as fire, or to create a fire. And I thought that was going to play into something like, all right, now there's these guys in the woods trying to chase her down. That would have been cool. It would have made it feel urgent, and you could have still had some of the backstories and stuff like that. The last 2 episodes, with like seeing her mom and seeing her dad, those were really touching moments. I think those really got me. But overall, I think this is an average, so I think some people will really like this. This is definitely for a female demographic, you know what I'm saying? I think Melissa kind of warmed me up to just seeing what she's going to do in the future beyond Scream. I definitely think she has a long ways to go, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like they should have focused more on the wilderness stuff and less on the flashback stuff, because you could have still done the flashback stuff and gave us more of the wilderness, or it just was too predictable, I would say, for me personally. I still enjoyed moments, but overall, I think you should check this out. I think it's at least worth one watch. It's only 6 episodes, like I said. Really easy to kind of get through. Let me know if you've seen this. How do you feel about Melissa as an actress? You know what I'm saying? Do you like her in Scream? Do you want to see her in more roles? Do you want to see her as Lara Croft? Because I was like thinking that while I was watching this. But anyways, till next time, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.